I'm here in the AIX room
All
with
right.
Mark Waldrep. Mark, how are you?
Good morning, Peter, or good afternoon maybe now. We just
Yeah.
passed the noon hour. This is a partnership of several companies, and thanks to people like Gary Klassmeyer, who brings his JVC projector and his erector set with him to haul it up in the air back behind us. An RS600 is the new model 4K. Is this one the laser?
It is not.
It's not. So it's 36 or 30% brighter than last year's model, because as a record company, AIX Records, we actually shoot video during the productions. Everybody's on stage, whether it's a classical or a jazz ensemble. They're all on stage at the same time singing and playing. I capture the sound of the room, I capture the sound of them singing and so on, and everybody's singing and playing at the same time, so why not bring cameras in? And if you look at some of the early productions, Paul Smith and some of the others that we did, we just locked off a camera and he sat there in his shorts, tennis shoes, and Hawaiian shirt, and we let it go. Well, now there's lights and jibs and booms and all that other stuff. When I start to realize, especially on Blu-ray, and even some Blu-ray 3Ds, that people like the visuals. It's not just about the sound, that the whole visual experience of making music is part of it as well. So in addition to JVC, OPPO, and I can't remember the model number of that machine. I should probably look and see, because this is for the custom installation market. It's an OPPO player, I think it's a 100, isn't that what we said? 101.
101
And if you
something,
notice
yeah.
on the back, this model has been modified to provide digital output at 96K, 24 bits, multi-channel. I'm a surround guy. I like 5.1 speakers, and when I switch between stereo and 5.1, generally the audience likes the 5.1 as well. So digital outs, which actually violates their agreement, so they can't sell that machine. I can sell you that machine.
how about that?
Because I don't have that restriction. They can provide me the machines, we put the boards in, and then 3 SPDIF connections into the benchmark DX DACs, which are some of the best DACs on the planet. This is the digital version of their DACs. I use 3 of them in stereo and use the remote control to consistently move up and down volume if we need to fade. They run at 96K 24 bits and have 130 dB of dynamic range. So everything that's on my source recordings doesn't get diminished by the time it gets to the speakers. We're not going through conversions and so forth. DH Labs has provided us with the interconnects, which go out to the AHB2, also a benchmark product, 132 dB worth of dynamic range in this little package. We've bridged them in mono. It's a 380 watt amplifier into 8 ohms. A small jump cable from DH Labs goes into the Harman supplied me with the Revel Salon 2 speakers, which go up to the mid 30 kilohertz range, which means that everything that I've put on my recordings is going to be delivered to you through the speakers and in a 5.1 surround speaker array. Now, the consistency of making sure that the recordings that actually are better than CD quality, they exist in the 100 to 102, 105 dB dynamic range, which are better than CDs, better than analog tape, better than vinyl. Those are colors and flavors that people like, and you'll find them in other rooms, but you won't get the kind of dynamic range that I just played in the Bolero, where Absolute Sound Magazine reviewed it and said it had too much dynamic range. Like there is such a thing. If it's really in the hall, why wouldn't I, as an engineer, want to reproduce that, put it on a disc, and deliver it through a system like what we've got in this room? It's phenomenally compelling. The other big story, Peter, just because I know your audience is waiting, and these people want to know too, is the book that I kickstarted last fall, called Music and Audio User Guide to Better Sound, is available out on the table out front. Comes with a Blu-ray disc, 25% off here at the show, but this dispels many of the myths that are associated with our crazy world of audiophiledom, such as if your system is too bright, we should get some cables that make it duller. We use equalizers to do that, not cables, folks. So this is going to cause a stir, I think, among some people in the industry who might disagree with me, but it's worth getting the other side of the coin. For instance, don't spend money on things that don't improve your system's fidelity. Go for the things that make the biggest change, which is buying my software.
Speaking of which, can we take a quick little snippet
We
look?
can absolutely do that.
Thank you very much, Mark, from AIX Records.
So maybe we'll stay in the classical domain here. Whoops. Let's actually this up with some video. got some video.
Okay, here we go.
Here's the recording in stereo.
Oh, very different.
Audience perspective, surround. And in the middle of the band, perspective.
Here we go. It sounds magnificent. Thank you very much, Mark from
Thanks, Peter, for coming by. Appreciate it.
AIX.